Hello, everyone. Happy to be back with another young Indian, part of the Voice of the Young series. Right now, we have with us Somdyuti Gupta. Let's listen to her. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Let me first say it is such a pleasure to talk to you today. My name is Somdyuti Gupta. I am from Kolkata. I am currently pursuing my first year of master's studies from IIFT Kolkata campus. I did my bachelor's from Presidency University. Previous to that, my schooling was from South Point High School and then Delhi Public School for my 11th and 12th. So it has been now 5 years of studying economics, and I'm slowly starting to try and understand what this subject is really about. When I first left school after my plus two, economics was not a plan of sorts, but it was I happened to take it up on a whim, and now many years have passed since that time, and I've grown rather fond of it. So right now I'm trying to understand what I what my area of interest really is, discovering new topics and um, trying to figure out real world applications of it. Because in our courses, we learn a lot of theory, but when we get our hands on data and apply our theoretical knowledge to real world situations, we get to really see what economics is all about. So, right now, I'm in the process of doing that, or at least trying to do that.
So, tell us more about life in presidency.
Um, Very unfortunately, my life in presidency, or my entire batch and couple of batches after that as well, was cut really short due to COVID. So I joined presidency in September of 2019, and COVID hit in February, March of 2020. So the entirety of what students wait to experience, what is called college life, was gone because we spent 4 semesters at home.
Yeah.
I spent personally 5 semesters at home due to a personal tragedy. And so my college life or president's life in presidency was cut really short.
Okay.
But even in those first 4 or 5 months that I was lucky enough to be there, it was quite happening. It was a college that I wanted since childhood because everybody knows presidency, what it's all
Oh,
about,
yeah,
and it has a worldwide reputation.
it does.
So I consider myself very lucky to have walked those halls, which so many before us have done. And even though it was a short experience, it was a sweet one.
Okay, so tell us more about yourself, what you do. What did you do in those 5 semesters? For 4 semesters where you didn't have a tragedy? I mean, how did you cope with the COVID? How did your batch cope? What happened?
So when we transition from school to college, we don't really anticipate how much we have to study. And especially when COVID hit, it was something we were not accustomed to. We had never seen a world of online classes, and sort of getting used to this new routine of waking up every day and sitting on your laptop to attend lectures which you should have attended in person. It was a bit of a shock to get used to. We couldn't experience classes as they should be, and or college life, but we did learn a lot about the hardships of life in those 2 years during COVID. We gave our exams in the midst of the second wave when when all we could hear from our houses were the sirens of ambulances, which was pretty harrowing in those times. But we all found our way to power through it. We tried to enjoy the classes even though they were in online mode. We tried to learn as much as we could, absorb all the material, and it was a good time to maybe pick up on hobbies that we had left behind in our plus two. because in India, the academic pressure is such that you are taught or encouraged to leave your hobbies behind when you are, especially in that plus two phase. So it was a good time to pick those back up and try to find solace in things we found, things we enjoyed doing. So along with all that, uh, studying economics and learning a subject which I had not had much exposure to before. I had economics in my plus two, but it was with PCM. So uh, economics was not a plan, as I said previously. So I wanted to study something else, but I happened to get into economics, and I got into presidency's economics, and which is why I took it at first. But then, as I slowly started studying it and understanding it, I grew fond of it, and I my real interest developed in semester five with development economics, and it was particularly Kaushik Basu's book, which which I really enjoyed reading, and all our development economics course which we had. That is when I really wanted to. That is when I really started to like studying economics, and primarily that is when I decided that in the future I would like to pursue research. Even though I'm keeping my options open, it is not set in stone or anything that I will go for research. But that is when my interest started growing to the point where I thought that, okay, maybe this is something I can do for life, because research is essentially that, right? Picking something up and sticking to it. So that particular text or that particular semester and paper was really formational for me in a way. After my bachelor's, I took a year gap due to personal reasons, and then I got into IIFT, which was really special because it allowed me to live in my hometown for another 2 years and pursue a specialized field in trade and finance, which which will, I hope, further help me decide where my interest actually lies.
Okay.
In my 5 or 6 years of studying economics, I have worked. I've been lucky enough to be chosen to work for a couple of projects with the Ministry of Commerce and with my current internship at NCAER. So I have worked with trade data, and I have worked on the labor market, and still trying to discover what actually I would like to stick to for the rest of my life with.
Okay, so just to go back, what were some
Hmm.
of those hobbies that you took up in COVID?
Um, I have always enjoyed reading.
Uh-huh.
So that was a habit that I had grown out of touch with. And sitting at home for days on end allowed me to go get back into the world of books. I my father had gifted me a guitar when I was in class seven, which I was only able to pick up when COVID hit. So that is something I started to learn during those times. I have been painting for a really long time, and that is also something I allowed myself to go back to during those times. So sort of an artistic journey in those 2 years.
Do you have any of the paintings that you could show us?
I do have them, but I don't know how to show it right now.
You don't have them on some file on
No,
your
no,
computer?
no, no. I don't have them on my computer, and most of them are left at home. And right now I'm in Delhi, so quite a few miles away
Oh,
from
you are
home.
in Delhi because of your internship.
Internship, yes.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, so you do have an artistic side. It's very important for economists, I think. I don't have an artistic side, but it's a big gap because I think
Yeah.
we need to have that artistic side
It
to,
allows us to nurture our creative abilities, I
yeah,
think.
okay. So what are you doing at NCAER?
So at NCAER, I'm working under Professor Bonali Bhandari. and I'm working on labor market data right now. I don't know how much of it I'm actually allowed to say.
Don't tell me more,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
general, yeah, just general stuff.
In general, I'm learning about skilling part of the labor market, and yeah, just working with a bit of data and seeing what the labor market is really like in more detail than we get to explore in our courses.
Okay. And how do you find being physically at NCAER?
It has been a wonderful experience, honestly. I always wanted to do a research internship to actually learn what research is really all about,
Yeah.
and I could not have hoped for a better experience.
Okay. Wonderful to hear it, because people, younger people who are looking for internships need to
Hmm.
hear as to what it's like, and if they are in
Yeah, yeah,
Delhi, they may have an idea, but you are not from Delhi, and yet you
yeah.
chose
So
this.
that was actually quite a daunting experience because I've never been out of home before this. So this is
Yeah.
my first time leaving my hometown, my home, my family for even though it is for a period of 2 months, but this is the first time, and it has been the first few days in Delhi was pretty were pretty rocky, but then once you start working and once you fall into the routine of things, it becomes easier.
Okay.
And I have been very lucky to have very supportive people at NCAER to ensure a smooth onboarding for me.
Okay. Wonderful. But what you had other options, right? Before you took NCAER.
I had a couple of options,
Yeah.
but I wanted NCAER for a really long time.
Okay.
So
So what were
I was
those
really
other
happy.
options? Let's hear that. What were the other options?
Um, I had an option from RIS and one from Bengal Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
So in the end, I decided to go with NCAER.
Yeah. I'm glad you partly got out of the hometown, see a
Yeah,
different. Delhi is a very
city.
different culture than Kolkata, obviously. It goes without saying. So you are at least experiencing some of that. Okay. What else do you want to tell us?
Um, I can talk about life at IIFT
Yeah.
for a bit.
Yeah.
I've been at IIFT for a year now, almost. And when I first got into IIFT, I did not really know how to feel about it because trade and finance were not really strong subjects for me. But as I have progressed through my first year of masters, I have started to like a lot of the things that I thought I would not like. So it also our courses are very different from courses offered anywhere in the country. In any other economics institute, we get we have fairly empirical papers in the third semester onwards, and we have a lot of options which students can look forward to. And the courses are designed in a very unique sort of way. We get to learn a lot of practical things, I guess you can say. Um, I I really enjoy the coursework in IIFT. So, and coming from someone who always thought that trade is not something I would like, I've been pleasantly surprised to find that trade has grown as a major area of interest for me over the past year. I also delved into a bit of economics of networks for a brief period of time last year, and it is a field I would like to explore. Mm, it is a fairly new place, and it is emerging in a sort of way that more and more work is coming up in that particular area. So, and it's fairly mathematical. So, that is also an area that I would like to explore. As I said, I'm just currently in the zone of trying to figure out what I actually like and what I would like to do.
Mm-hmm. It's nothing unusual about it. It happens to all of us.
Mhm.
Even when you are 68, 69 years old, you are wondering, what am I going to do next?
It is actually very I find a lot of relief hearing that from someone with as much experience as you, because it is sometimes very daunting to see people around me all set and figured, they have figured out what they want to do, which area they want to do a PhD in, where they want to apply, while I'm just trying to swim against the current.
Uh,
But it is really a big
but
relief to
you know,
hear that.
the risk is you get fossilized. That
Yeah,
you are all set, you are in a groove, and then you are fossilized, because you have nothing invigorating that you are thinking of and doing, and it becomes like more of the same,
yeah. So
more of the same.
exploring is really important,
It
I
is
feel like.
important. It is important for you and for your output. So you don't
Yes.
say the same thing for 25 years. This is pointless. You need to do
Yeah.
something. Anyway, this is more about you than me. So I want to hear from you what else you want to talk about.
Um,
And in the IIFT, did you find students from all over India? Presidency
yes,
is
yes.
still
It's like
local, right? Presidency is still
presidency
local.
is fairly local.
Right.
But at IIFT, we have students from all over the country. We have people from Delhi and Maharashtra. So it's a mixed lot of people. It's nice to be able to get to meet people of different backgrounds, of different cultures, which is something I lacked personally when I was in presidency. So that was, and also coming to Delhi, learning about a different culture, the people here, and a different lifestyle which they follow here. It is quite different from that of Kolkata. So it has been, Delhi sort of has been a formative experience.
Mm-hmm.
It is teaching me how, like in Kolkata, life is a bit slower, I would say. But in Delhi, it is it is all about the hustle culture, and
Yes.
which is what the world is essentially about today. So Delhi is teaching me about the fast life, and I'm happy to be able to get to experience that.
Okay. I mean, while you are not sure of what you want to do in the future, I think that's quite helpful in telling young people some tips, because you can tell them it's okay to be not sure, right?
Yes,
So,
because
what are your tips for young people?
I'm not sure that I'm the right person to give them tips, but all I can say is you're not alone if you feel like you're unsure about your future. You're not alone. There are a lot of us in the same boat. And eventually, even if you might feel like your time is running out, eventually, when the time comes, you will hopefully figure out, as will I, that what you want to do. And I think it is very important to keep your options open
Yeah,
instead of being like a rigid sort of person from the very beginning that this is what I want to do. It is good in a way, but what also happens is if you face rejections and failure in that one field, you will feel hopeless at a point that this is all I wanted to do. I did not think of anything else and I failed there. So, what do I do next? So, I think it is important to keep your options open so that if, I hope not, but if a failure comes or a push in the opposite direction comes in the field which you want to follow, you have something to fall back on and not lose your hope, which I think is a very important thing in today's world when options are, I wouldn't say limited, but you have to choose carefully.
anything else you want to tell us?
Uh, no, sir, if you want to ask me anything else, I would be glad
Well,
to
no,
answer. But I
it's not my job to ask questions, but I just want to give you the chance and the platform to talk about whatever your experience, your desires, etc. are. And it's not, I try not to ask questions because that's not the style here. So it's up to you. You tell us what you want to tell us.
I think mostly what I would like to say is studying economics, although it was not a plan, has been a pleasant experience till now. I hope to figure out. what I want to do next in the future. And even though, like, this is something that I would like to tell my juniors, that even if you are not sure if of what you want to study when you're in your 10 plus 2 or when you're just starting out college, um, keep an open mind, an open heart, and I'm sure you'll find a way.
Okay. All right. Then, if that's what you want to say, then let's end it here today. And
Yes,
I'll
yes.
be back with another young person or an expert soon. So let's say bye to the viewers. Bye, everybody.